Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. My name is Aldous Mina. I'm the concept author of Face Economics, which is the utilization of the social media platform economic development. I drafted the book to help everybody, regardless of class, status, or station in life, advance economically and financially to better their life. And that was the main purpose why I drafted Face Economics, the utilization of the social media platform in economic development worldwide, since it is a new concept and social media has never been around throughout humanity. The history of modern civilization never really had the opportunity to be exposed to knowledge transfer that can be done simultaneously, and people can learn from each other via the social media platform. So that was my main motivation to lift all boats, um, for people to advance and better their lives. So I also committed and served in the U.S. Peace Corps, you know, as a volunteer to continue to facilitate economic development, capacity building, knowledge transfer, and supporting the less fortunate people of this world. The haves doesn't always understand what the have-nots of having to deal with in terms of um, their struggles and hardship, and overall, you know, access to opportunities. And coming from a legal immigrant background, I grew up, you know, experiencing all sorts of, you know, hardship economically, financially, and even getting access to opportunities. And so now that I'm of age and I've, went through the process and experienced this, I thought I'd share my, overall um, experience and lessons learned via my journey. As the son of legal immigrants in America who came from, a country that didn't have a whole lot to begin with, and in terms of, social mobility and financial mobility, and therefore my, you know, um, overall aspiration is to help those that are less fortunate in this country. With that said, I find it extremely troubling to find out that the current Vice President, Ms. Harris, have decided to participate on, a show, TV show with a host who had been, basically uh, demeritating and making fun of, and using a group of people in America to you know promote his jokes and get attention by dogging the Asian American community or Asian immigrant community. I find it extremely troubling when the vice president of a country, and who is also running to become our next, commander in chief, our next president, to participate in a show whose host and the representation that the host basically utilize pertaining to, the marginalization of a group of people in America is very questionable. Having been discriminated against in the workforce and experiencing a lot of racial attacks, I've, you know, I thought that it was in poor taste and poor decision making for the vice president to partake in a show who's, host and leader of that show. He developed these content to, for the vice president to participate in. Asian hate is real in America. A lot of people from the Asian Pacific Islander community have experienced hate in America, attacks, for their race, for their ethnic background, for, their national origin, their ethnicity. And yet, the vice president of a country who is running for office would get on a show and entertain, having a beer and, having laughs with the host who she probably knows have attacked a segment of the population. Okay, a few years ago. I also find it troubling when the vice president would participate in lavish parties and basketball events and sorority events, when my ongoing case that we've shared with her and her administration via her social media platform, as well as in writing, the very moment they gained access to the White House, when they became the administrator of public interest in America. 3 years ago, and our case is an ongoing case that we have yet to provide, we have yet to gain relief, aid, and justice throughout the 3 years and almost 11 months that we've been requesting assistance from the Biden-Harris administration. They provided a letter to us that didn't really address any of our concerns and issues. And yet they had, Vice President Harris had a time to participate in various extravagant and lavish events, but yet, and even going on talk show, and still we are here waiting for the White House from Biden Harris administration to provide relief, aid, and justice regarding our case that they claim they know about. They provided a letter to us. They sent a letter in 2022 saying that they are aware of our case, and yet nothing happened. Or it's at least, 3 years and several months later, there's still no commitment from their administration to provide relief, aid, and justice. So, furthermore, Ms. Harris claims that coming from an immigrant family, her parents are immigrants, that she understands the plight of immigrant population of the country. If she truly understands our plight and our experiences, hardship and all the things that we had to deal with as, children of immigrants in America, how come she's never participated in providing aid, relief, and justice to a case that involves legal immigrants? My parents waited for years to come to America, stood in line for years, several years, to gain access to America. And when opportunity opened up, they did their very best to support their family, taking on menial jobs and living in poverty in America as legal immigrants. Whereas the legal immigrants entering the country and not even respecting the sovereign right of a country to enforce immigration laws by getting aids on aids and support, from this administration, but yet the son of legal immigrants came here, of, you know, following the rules, abiding by the sovereign right and law of the United States of America to enforce its national immigration objective. Okay, um, isn't being provided any relief, aid, and justice by the Biden-Harris administration. On top of that, Ms. Harris is requesting for the population to give her 4 more years. My question is, I've been waiting for her in the last 3 years and several months to provide assistance, relief, and justice in my case. And yet, nothing was done. With this said, I thought, I shared this quick message with the American public and those that are contemplating about voting, the people that are disenfranchised in America. Carefully review who it is that you're supporting. I came from a Democrat background. When I was in high school, I supported quite a bit of Democratic agenda, thinking that the Democrat Party is a party for the oppressed and marginalized, the immigrant population, the voiceless, powerless in our country. But all of that seemed to have vanished. And this is why I would like to share my story with every single one of you. I ask you to share, reflect on, and consider what I'm sharing with you. If you feel compelled to look for documentation regarding what I mentioned, I will share it at the bottom section of this video blog, podcast, and also you can visit our Facebook page, Braveheart, the Giant Within, and majority of the documentation that is provided to us have been shared on various platforms that we're managing. America, you need to pay attention to the rhetoric and to the message of those who's requesting for you to give them a job that would increase and amplify their authority and power over you. You need to stop and think, are these the people that represent our aspirations? Are these the people that represent our values, who we are as a country? Our, sacrifices to serve this country, to serve America. You know what? When I was in the Peace Corps, I was making less than $300 a month for 28 months. I realized that that's a sacrifice that I have to partake in to serve our country. Okay. And yet, years upon years that I've been waiting from the Biden-Harris administration to render relief, aid, and justice regarding my case, and they're nowhere to be found. Just said, my name is Aldous Mina. I'm the concept author of Face Economics, the utilization of the social media platform and economic development to support the advancement of those individuals that are looking to better themselves, better their lives, better their regions, country, and overall aspiration to be contributing citizens of this world and their countries. Thank you for watching. Take care.